Hello, my name is Jenna Smith, and today I'm going to be speaking to you about some of the similarities and differences in the American and Afghanistan's constitution. Within the Afghan preamble, it states that Islam is the national religion. Some goals of the Constitution are to strengthen national unity, protect their independence and territory, avoid oppression, atrocity, discrimination, and violence, and to strengthen areas in politics, society, and the economy. On the left-hand side, you see the preamble, which are the actual words listed within the Afghan preamble. The American preamble is located within the Constitution. There's a picture of the Constitution, the original Constitution, on the right hand side. The preamble states that we, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. So, I want to say before I go to the next slide that, within the preamble, you can already see some similarities. So, I'm just going to say that. Okay, let's start with the articles. Article 1. The Afghan form of government is an Islamic republic. Compared to America, I would like to say that America does not have a national religion. In America, you are free. And I think that is so amazing. In Article 2, the Afghan people are dedicated to the Islamic religion. Those that practice a different religion are considered free within the law. One can be considered a citizen if they are part of the Afghan tribes or are born a citizen. So within Article 2, I would like to talk about the free within the law. So it states that the practice of a different religion is considered free within the law, but in Afghanistan, can you practice religion without really being free? Can you practice a different form of religion without the fear of death or the fear of torture? Article 9 states that mines and subterranean resources are property of the state. So that's pretty much your natural resources, what's going to come out of the earth. Article 12 states that Afghanistan has an independent bank where funds are deposited, and that is just like the United States because we definitely have a national bank. Article 13, the state must design and implement programs for industries in order to expand production and raise the standard of living. In Afghanistan, there is a very low standard of living. Not much running water, no clean water, no electricity, bare minimum when it comes to living. If you look at the image, this is one of the industries. This is some sort of production. It looks like a fruit to me. But this is implemented through the state to increase profits to hopefully overturn the standard of living. Article 16. The Afghan national language is Pashto and Dari. The usage of all other languages are free in press, publications, and mass media. Article 22 states that men and women have equal rights. Article 23 is to the Afghan life and natural rights are seen as a gift from God. So, With that being said, Article 22, men and women have equal rights. It states within the Constitution that men and women have equal rights, although in Afghanistan, women do not have the same rights as men. Women cannot go outside alone. Women cannot uncover their head. Women cannot speak up for women's rights. There has not been a women's suffrage movement. There has not been, no one has stood up for these women in Afghanistan. And if you look on the left-hand side, this is a lady named Malala Yousafzai, and she is a women's rights activist in Afghanistan. And there is currently, it's been going on for a couple years, but they're trying to get women's rights, similar to the rights that women have here in the United States. Malala was shot for speaking out on the right for women to have an education in Afghanistan. And like I said, she was shot by the Taliban, and that's just, it's really crazy that women don't even have the same chance at an education as men in Afghanistan, and you're shot for speaking out on wanting an education. Here in the United States, there's a lot of people that really take that for granted. In Article 27 of the not the Constitution, but the Afghan Constitution, suspects are innocent until proven guilty. That is just like the United States. You're innocent until proven guilty. Article 28 states that no one should be pursued, detained, or arrested without the due process of law, which once again is like the United States. Article 29 states that no one should be tortured without the due process of law, and Article 31 states that the accused have the right to appear for court in a timely manner. All four of these articles contain the due process of law, just like the United States. So, if there's so many similarities within our Constitution and the Afghan Constitution, then it makes you very curious to know what the difference is to cause such societal changes. How are people so different, or how are countries, better yet, so different, but are very structured very the same? Article 33 states that citizens have a right to vote. I think it's interesting that there's no catchphrase on that. In America, if you're a felon, you cannot vote. If you're not registered, you can't vote. There's a lot of loopholes you have to go through to vote, and there's a lot of things that you can do to have your rights taken away to vote in the United States. Looking in Article 33 of the Afghan Constitution, I did not see any limitations on voting. All you're required to do is to be a citizen. Article 37 is telecommunication lines cannot be tapped without the due process of law. And Article 42 states that all citizens are obligated to pay taxes, as they should, for the betterment of the country. Article 43 states that education should be a right to all citizens. This goes back to the Malala Yousafzai, and like I was saying, it said that men and women have equal rights. It states it in the Constitution, but do they really? No. It also states, like I said, in Article 43, that education should be a right to all citizens. But if Malala Yousafzai is having to get shot for asking for women to be able to obtain the same education as a man in Afghanistan, then is education a right to all citizens? No. because you have discrimination. You have men are better than women in this country. This is how it's seen. This is a system. It's really systematic, you know. People just, I don't know. I don't understand it, honestly. Well, not that I don't understand it, but I don't understand how men are seen as superior to women. In Article 49, I feel like this is a very important article. So I made it by itself. So Article 49 is the forced and child labor is not prohibited at any time or situation. So this means that you cannot force an adult to work for free. You cannot force a child to work for free. You can't force anyone to work for free, no matter the time or situation, no matter how much you think it's okay. Your 10-year-old should not be in the Taliban, running around, shooting people, killing people, blowing things up. Your daughter should have to take care of a whole house of things. You can't go and how in America there was slavery, how you could force people to work, how you could take away people's rights and dignities. That isn't right. So in 1919, Afghanistan became an independent country, and I'm just gonna kind of go over a timeline with you so that you understand, you know, that this really is a bigger issue than what it's seen. In 1938, the U.S. enforced the Fair Labor Standards Act. In 1980, the Soviet Union invades Afghanistan and Afghanistan becomes communist. In 1992, the Taliban begins gaining power, and in 1994, Afghanistan signs the Convention of the Rights of the Child. Like I said, Afghanistan it's involved in war, and you know I understand that this could have an effect on the children. It could have an effect on the labor. It could have an effect on things, but still, it's not right. You're taking away from this child's childhood by forcing labor on them at such a young age and making them have to grow up so young. Article 60 requires that the president has 2 vice presidents. This is in place in case of death or resignation of the president or vice president. I actually thought that this was really neat. I never heard of anything like this before. The American people are only required to elect 1 vice president. Although I believe that America could benefit from electing 2. For example, you know, last year with Donald Trump and everything, if he would have resigned and we would have had only the vice president, then the vice president could have moved to president, and then the second elected vice president could have became the vice president. Like I said, if that was the situation, but that was just an example. Articles 60 through 162 cover directions and specifics for the government and president. This includes, you know, just how to get a president in, how to get a president out, all those good things. This right here is a beautiful view of Afghanistan, I believe. And here is my works cited page.